over 14. Well, at this point, it might be a good idea to go ahead and rationalize this denominator. So let's go ahead and do that. That way we can cancel the 15s out. It'd be a little bit easier to do that. So let's go ahead and we're going to rationalize this denominator, square root 15 over square root 15. And so we get 2 square root 15, and this becomes 15 over 15. Okay? So I went ahead and rationalized that denominator, and so now it's a little easier. We can go ahead, since we flipped that denominator, put the 15 in the numerator, 14 in the denominator. Now it's easier to cancel the 15s out. And we can cancel the 2, right? Negative 2 and 14, that's a 7. And this becomes a negative 1. Don't want to forget that negative. And so we've got a negative square root 15 over 7. And that's our answer. Okay. We have on problem 36, we want to find the half angle identities for sine, cosine, and tangent. And for 36, we have a problem such as, go to a new page here. Cosine x equals to a negative 4 over 5. And we also know that we have x is greater than 180, or less than 180 rather. X is less than 180, or no, x is greater than, 180 is less than x, and x is less than 270. Okay, well that puts us, here's 180, here's 270. You probably guessed it by now, we're in quadrant 3. Well, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, right? So that means 5 is going to be in the hypotenuse, and this would make this a negative 4 here. So that means we need to find our opposite side. Again, we're going to use Pythagorean theorem, right? But you can also see that we have a 3, 4, 5 right triangle. Okay? Some of you already know that, but let's go ahead and work this out. We got 5 squared equals 4 squared plus x squared, and we get x is equal to plus or minus 3, so this will be a negative 3 since we're in quadrant 3. Okay? Put that in blue. Alright? So from here, we want to go ahead and find the half angle identity for that. Well, since we're working with a 4 over 5 to get x over 2, what we want to do now is we want to find cosine. X over 2. And we know that cosine x over 2 is plus or minus the square root of 1 plus cosine u over 2. Alright, so what we have to do here is we have to take this 180 degrees is less than x, and x is less than 270. And since we're working with x over 2, we have to make this 180 x over 2 here and here. Okay? So that makes this 180 divided by 2, that's going to be 90. Is less than x over 2, and 270 divided by 2, that's 135. So that puts us in quadrant 2 for u over 2. Okay? And u over 2 in quadrant 2, we can say, we know that sine is positive. That u over, so for quadrant 2, sine is positive, and cosine is negative. So in that plus or minus, square root of whatever it is for sine or cosine, so that means for sine, that in this case we're using